actually educate, inspire, and make you think. The future is now. Topics and music that affect your life from Universal Broadcasting Network. Tune in at ubnradio.com.
Welcome to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo, Dr. Shirley and medium Kelly White.
Two perspectives, one world.
This is Both Sides Now.
Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Both Sides Now. I'm Dr. Shirley.
And I'm medium Kelly White.
And John, how are you? We haven't seen you in a while.
It's been too long. I missed you, ladies.
Oh, I wish you had been with
you
us.
too.
You were the missing link.
Oh, believe me, I wanted to be there. Let
Oh
me
my
tell you.
God. Well,
I was thinking about it the whole time you were there. I was like, oh man. But the whole time you were away too, I was doing the show for James while he was away. So that was a lot of fun with 3 different guests.
That's
Yes.
right.
So, yeah.
That's right. So that was wonderful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we took the month off, and we are rested, relaxed, and rejuvenated.
You look it too. You really do. I mean, you always look great, but I mean, you do
thank
have like this rested, relaxed energy over you. Yeah.
I wore my
sun-kissed
shirt today.
Yeah,
I
it's
was
beautiful.
going to.
Yeah.
But I did wear my black pearls and my
You
pearl earrings.
did.
My black pearl earrings, yeah.
So we just wanted to share with you what a magical time we had.
my
I mean,
gosh.
first of all, just the energy in Tahiti. There's something about those islands, particularly Moorea, which you told me, and I can't remember what you said about Moorea.
So Moorea has female energy, and
Yeah.
Moorea is what they claim is Lumeria.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there was Atlantis, and then the previous civilization before that was Lemuria. And Lemuria was a real female-oriented state of mind then.
Yeah.
And so when we were in Moorea, the energy was so lovely and beautiful, and the people were joyful. Wouldn't you say the
They
word
were.
joyful?
They were. They really were. There was this one chef that we met at one of the restaurants who spoke, what was it, 17 languages?
Yes.
And he was just like this ball of joy. I mean, there's no other way to describe him, right?
He was making crepes, and watching him make crepes or scrambled eggs, it was such a fun thing to do. I mean, normally, you go to a brunch, and the last thing you want to do is wait in line and wait for your eggs,
Right.
But this guy, I was having the most fun watching him. And finally, when it was my turn to get up to order my breakfast, I felt so grateful to be in this guy's presence.
Wow.
Really,
That was right. There was something
so magical
about him.
about him. And
Yeah.
he said, I said, where are you from? And he said, oh, I'm from here. How many languages do you speak? He said, I speak 18. And he had so much joy, 18 languages, and he was, flipping
something.
eggs. It was unbelievable to me.
Wow.
But
Well,
the
because you had
joy
seen
there-
him, right? Talk to different people while
Eh,
you were waiting in line
yes.
in all of their
in every
distinctive
language,
languages.
yes.
Yeah.
So it was
That-
interesting.
Yeah. But no, the energy was just amazing.
Well, and one day, Shirley and I and my sister, who was with us, who joined us, we were having dinner on the sand. So the 3 of us, I would like to call it a very romantic dinner. Suppose it was. But the 3 of us were there, and it was, included this fabulous wine. And when they pour wine there, they pour, like one glass is like 16 ounces.
Right.
And they want you to finish it so you can go to the
Wow.
next pairing of wine.
Right.
So we had a lot of wine that night. But my sister noticed that the server, this beautiful Tahitian woman, was wearing this gorgeous crown of flowers. Remember
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
And my sister said, oh, that's just a lovely crown.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman said, oh, here you go, and just took it off her head and gave it to
She
her.
makes them herself
Wow.
to wear to work.
Yeah.
And she took it off and gave, it was beautiful.
Weren't there a couple pictures of you guys with those crowns?
Oh,
on?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll have to
We
find
all
some.
took turns
We all took
taking-
turns with that.
Being
But-
crowned.
But the energy on Moorea
Yeah.
is just this female, lovely, joyful, happy, kind. Kind is the word I
Yeah.
would use. Everywhere you go,
Yeah.
people were kind. And the water, of course, is spectacular.
Oh, yeah.
Translucent and
It's just
oh,
amazing.
It's just, yeah.
And then when you go to Bora Bora, Bora Bora is more male energy.
Mm-hmm.
Would you
Yeah.
agree with that?
Yeah,
It's different. Some people really gravitate towards that.
Right.
And as beautiful as it is, it wasn't my favorite at all.
Well, it's interesting when you tune into the energy because I've been to Tahiti. I think this was my 3rd time. But when you tune into the difference, since you pointed that out, I was able to tune in. And for some reason, maybe because, I'm a woman, I don't know what it is for you, but the energy in Moorea felt a little bit more magical than in Bora Bora. Although the energy in Bora Bora was wonderful
was-
too. I
it
mean,
was
some of the most
great.
beautiful beaches
Yeah.
and so it was just, oh my gosh. And
It
I
was
mean,
really heavenly. And being with James was pretty extraordinary.
To get started and just the
Yeah, just
healing
get
that
started there.
took place. I mean, because James announced, James, the way it works, it was like 2 or 3 hour sections of him doing meditations and readings and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to also have fun and
Oh, yeah.
vacation, right? And he announced at the beginning that Kelly and another woman, who was it?
Janelle Campbell, a fabulous medium in Australia. Shout out to Hi Janelle.
Yeah.
She's just terrific. If anybody's
Yeah.
looking for a great medium in Australia,
She's
she's
wonderful.
terrific.
She's wonderful. And so he announced that they were both going to be doing readings, private
Well,
readings.
he asked me ahead of time. He said, "Look, honey,
course,
do you want to work? If you don't want to work, it's your vacation. I understand,
Yeah.
but as an empath, you start feeling
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
pain. And
Right.
the 110 people that were on this cruise with James, they had a lot of loss. So
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
"All right, I'll do." And I thought I'll just do 4 or 5, and that would be it.
Yeah, yeah.
And but it was a funny story. We had kind of a funny story about that.
Yeah.
We so when James announced that I'd be doing a few readings, immediately this lovely couple came over to me and asked me if I would do a reading for them individually. And so I said, "Oh, okay, sure, okay. Well, when can I sign up?" And I said, I really don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I'll let you know, because it wasn't like a normal work week where I take my book out and say, "Oh, Wednesday at 1 o'clock." You know, I really didn't know.
Right.
So it turned out, it's so interesting how spirit works, isn't it? Everywhere I went, the ship was a small ship, but still you have 250 people on the ship. I'd turn around, there they were. I'd get off at the elevator, there they were.
And they weren't stalking her.
They weren't
It was just
stalking me.
coincidence.
It was just a coincidence. And I thought, boy, this person really, the soul on the other side, really
Wants to speak to them. Yeah.
me to speak to them. And I always remembered what my dear close friend Mavis Patilla, who's a fabulous
Yeah.
medium
In
in
England,
England,
right, yeah.
great spiritual teacher. She always says, "Remember, we work for the other side."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, I hear you, Mavis, loud and clearly." So by the 4th or 5th time that I'd run into this couple, I said, "All right." They said, "When can we?" And I said, "Okay, how about tomorrow at 10 a.m.?" Okay, and that night I went to bed, and of course their loved one came to me with his name and his story, and it was very intense. And here's the weird part of that story. So, "What room are you in?" I said, because that's where I'm going to come. They were in the room next door to us.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
I mean, right next door, not 2 doors down. I mean, right next door.
Wow.
Yeah. It was quite an experience. And then I worked with them, and I knew that they needed some additional help. And so, Shirley, bless your heart, you weren't going to work, and you ended up helping
Yeah.
too, doing
Well,
somatic
I
experience.
couldn't. I mean, they were such a lovely couple.
Oh, just lovely. We had a lot of trauma, tremendous amount
a
of
lot
trauma.
of trauma. Yeah. So of course, like you, which is I think why we get along so well. I couldn't say no. I wasn't going to say no.
Right.
So I worked with them, and I have to tell you, John, the difference between this man whose face just had not a lot of movement, and you can tell was just you could just see the sadness.
Yeah.
By the end, and then his family members came through in a group reading with
For me,
James.
yeah. Oh,
So
yeah,
he
so
had-
twice with me and then with James.
Yeah, and then so the three of us kind of
Yes.
worked together with him. By the end of the cruise, this man, his face had a lot more movement. He was smiling. His eyes were smiling.
Happy.
It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Oh, the healing was
Yeah.
just, it was
That was
so
great.
touching. We were all crying at the end,
Yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
just unbelievable. And his wife was so wonderful. and just wanted the healing for him. And it was just, it was so moving.
It was totally ordained, because look at the synchronicities
Well,
that all
and
took
here's
place,
another
right?
weird thing that happened, and I'll just say this about the reading. Towards the end of the reading, I said, your person, your loved one, is telling me that every time you see a rainbow, you always say thank you to his name every single time. And he said, "Yes, I do. Every time I see a rainbow, I say that." Well, the next morning, and our rooms were adjoining.
Yeah.
So you can put this picture
Yeah.
up if you want
the
to.
next
But the
morning,
next morning,
this is what we wake up to.
Yeah.
No lie. The next morning after the
Wow.
reading, we look out the window, and that's what we're looking
And
at.
that is a full rainbow.
full double rainbow, full double rainbow.
Wow.
Yeah, and it got brighter and brighter and brighter, and then we started to see the double rainbow.
I see the double here. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
It was-
extraordinary,
Unbelievable that would happen.
isn't it?
Yeah. That he happened to communicate through rainbows, and the next day there's this
Double rainbow.
And Spirit does
Thanking
do that.
both of you,
Thanking
probably.
both of us.
Yeah.
Thanking all of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really incredible because James we were lucky. We had a suite, and next to us on the other side was James.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
There's a picture of you three.
Yeah.
And there's right.
That
That's
was
the
great.
cocktail party we had. Yeah.
The wind is blowing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah,
it was
it was
so
windy. Well, it does rain there. It does
Oh.
rain, and it does get kind of windy. In fact, we were at the front of the ship, and it got kind of rocky.
Oh, wow.
And as I recall, my sister, it was hard for her.
Yeah.
Some of the
Yeah,
rockiness.
one day she got really sick. Yeah.
And I can imagine being on the water. I think I said this to James. The energy, because it's a
like it.
conductor. Because it's a conductor
So
of energy,
here's
right?
what
So-
would happen as an empath.
Yeah.
So as an empath,
Yeah.
and I'm being directed. The elevator would stop at the wrong floor. Here's another couple I have to work with. Here's another couple. Here's somebody else I have to work with. And those souls. And I said to you, Shirley, before I went to bed that one night, and I said, "Oh, I know it's this one who died, and I know this, and I know this." You remember me telling you that?
The next morning you woke up, particularly about this couple, and you said, this person
Yeah.
came to me, this is his name, this is the
Yeah.
connection with the man.
Yeah. It
And
was
sure
sa-
enough, it was exactly
It was, but it was so. It's what you're saying. It's so easy.
Yeah.
As a water as the conductor, and you're also you're away from a lot of distraction.
Yeah.
Which is probably something that we should talk about. Being on a vacation.
most definitely. Yeah.
I need
No,
it. I'm
it's-
going next year.
Oh.
I'm so totally going next
Yeah.
year. But I don't think he's going to TD next year. He's going to go to Greece.
He's going to
Going to
Greece next year.
Greece.
Yeah. You guys going?
Well,
I
we're
want
talking
to.
about
We're
it.
talking
Okay.
about
We're
it.
talking
All right.
about
All
it.
right.
We met a lot of interesting people on this too, and Shirley and I had just finished our workshop. As you know, you were at our workshop.
Yes, I
Yes,
loved it.
the
It was
weekend
an
before.
amazing workshop. It really was, and I
you.
recorded all of it, so I got to go back and listen to bits and pieces of it.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so
Great.
the audio anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So no, it was powerful. I had some realizations, some revelations, realizations, some epiphanies, I would say.
Oh, I'm so
It-
glad we
yeah.
heard that from other people.
Yeah.
That too.
Yeah,
Thank you for
I really
sharing
did.
that.
Mhm.
Thanks. And as a result of doing that workshop and then going to Tahiti, we met a lot of people that want us to go to various locales in the world,
Excellent.
actually,
Yeah.
to do
Wow.
to do this.
There's just something, it's almost, well, what we call our show, both sides. There's something so healing about
Yeah.
the connection
Yeah.
with the spirit world. Even if you're not connecting with a loved one,
Yeah.
just meditations and the connection of yourself,
Yep.
connection to the spirit world. And then, of course, because we live on Earth,
Yeah.
the healing that we can do here with who we are and our experiences that we've had here. So there's really something magical about, kind of working in both those areas.
Well, for trauma, I think it's the best way to work through trauma, especially when there's
Yeah.
been a tragic death.
Well, I think the show, if you think about it, both sides now, that's the left brain, the right brain. That's also the spirit world and the physical world.
Yeah.
That's the spiritual and the psychological. So it's really
Right.
a packed
It really
show
is.
full of information. I
It
mean, if you
is.
think about all those different perspectives,
And
right?
it got, I don't know, we haven't had a chance to talk about it, Kelly. I don't know if it was for you, but, I do this and I do this with you just because it feels right and it feels like, like something that I want to do. And I do believe that it's healing. But this trip really kind of put that,
It cemented
really
it.
Cemented it. That's
Yeah.
a wonderful way
Yeah.
of saying it. Really cemented it because it really does.
Well, it was funny.
know?
Normally, when we work together, you'll be in a room with your patients, and you'll get this idea. I need to bring Kelly in. You're like, oh, I need to bring Kelly in.
Right. Your name goes in my
Right.
head and it won't leave.
Well, this time, what happened is, and I don't know if other mediums feel this way, and I should probably ask around, but in the middle of the night, before I saw this particular couple, in the middle of the night, I was gripped in agony. Physical agony, actually. And I knew it wasn't mine. So I knew I wasn't having a heart attack, and I knew I wasn't, there wasn't a problem with me. But I knew, oh my God, this poor man is in so much, literally physical pain. So I knew then that I was onto something with you. And I knew that Shirley was going to be in that later on in that reading. I knew you were going to do that.
Yeah.
And then later on, when I saw him, and I was actually in the session, I said to him, this pain I felt all night. And he said, yes, that's what I have carried, for many years.
Yeah.
And then I knew I had to bring you in. So it really is it's not just me, it's not just you,
No.
it's really a whole combination of the two of
Effort,
us
yeah.
working
Yeah.
together with this.
Yeah.
And you guys are going to do sessions, right? Like tandem sessions for people on Skype or something eventually too?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Put it out there for the people who aren't in LA, right?
Right,
Seriously.
right.
That's a
Yeah.
great idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's, when you think about a session with a psychologist, it's, one-on-one and it takes time and stuff, but there's something about, working with the body, which is what I do, that can help in the moment.
Yeah.
It speeds up the process.
Yeah, it really does.
Because people walk around with this kind of trauma. This man had this trauma for at least 40 or 50, possibly 50. In fact, 50 years.
Yeah, because
actually,
two
with
significant
two significant traumas.
Yeah.
And so it's never too late to get help for any of this kind of traumas that get stuck.
Yeah, and there's no, and it's not about blame for anybody, but you don't have to carry it around, and you literally do carry around. That's not a metaphor, because your body, it's stuck in your nervous system and your muscles, so you are truly carrying it around. He had this particular gentleman had a pain in his neck, and usually when we're carrying stuff around, it's the neck or the shoulders or the upper back, or if it's too much, the weight of the world is pain sometimes in the lower back. And I mean, not to sound like it was miraculous, but the next day he said that the pain had gone away for at least 24 hours. So there is something about, really the
release, the
release of trauma that you can really feel as a physical, sensation in your body. Yeah. It's not just. So it really cemented it for me that this is really something.
That we're onto something.
Yeah, that we're really onto something.
That's great.
So it was lovely. And just taking the time off, I mean, that's something we want to talk about. We still see, I think, time off and vacation as a luxury and not so much a necessity.
Self-care, yeah.
It's part of self-care, right. Yeah.
It's difficult, though. I don't know about you, Shirley. But it's difficult. I mean, as a spiritual person, you would think, spiritually, you can just walk away and, have no care in the world because you've got you're with a higher source. Well, I'm still having a human experience here, and the human experience was, oh my God, I better check my text, my email. So I had trouble with letting go of the cell phone. I had a lot
being disconnected.
Yes, I don't actually. For me, that would have been too stressful. And we had. In our luxury suite, we had full access to email. We had internet.
Well, we did, but the internet was very spotty.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was done on purpose. So we would be forced to, when the internet kept, shutting me off, I thought, okay, this is a sign. Let me put this down. But I don't think that it's very realistic to think all or nothing.
I don't either.
I have a few people, that work really, really hard, and then they're on hiatus for a month, and they want to relax and absolutely do nothing. And I think that's not really realistic. I mean, it's not realistic for me to not check my emails every so often and see if someone needs me to connect with them or something. Yeah. And for a lot of people, particularly people who own their own business or professionals, it's not realistic, nor I think is it the best idea to do. Or when you're even having a staycation, when you're at home, to think that you're going to do absolutely nothing for 7 days in a row. I think part of what relaxes our mind is being able, I'll take care of this, but I'll just limit myself. I'll just spend maybe an hour doing this, maybe answering phone calls or, having a network lunch meeting. And then the rest of the day, I'm going to take it off and do what I enjoy.
Well, it's funny. I was also in Tahiti before, and 15 years ago, we didn't have, we had cell phones, but we didn't have anything like we have now. Nothing. Yeah. So in those days, when you went to an island, which I did, an island with no electricity, there really was no electricity. Yeah. So there was no question, I have to bring my laptop, or, I have to find out about work. There was no question about it. Nowadays, very different.
Yeah, it's very different.
Even these little motus we went to, you could get some sort of reception.
Yeah. But that's where you have to, kind of take responsibility for your own self-care, because it could be that not having any connection for a week, that in itself could be stressful, and you can come home from that kind of a vacation and feel a little bit stressed.
Right.
So it really depends on what feels right to you. I don't think that we have this idea that it has to be all or nothing, and I don't think that that's very realistic. Yeah. But it is important to purposely and consciously, limit yourself or say, okay, I now want to do things that.
Well, what I found myself doing, Shirley, is that when we would get off the ship, when we had, we had the time to get off, and when we would get off the ship, we'd go to some island and swim. And in those moments, and in the water, I made a real conscious effort, aside from the fact that I'm afraid of water, so I made a really big effort there. I made an effort to just be grateful for that I was in this incredible water with this all my good close friends, and it was
Yeah.
so beautiful and so wonderful. And so I actually was very calm then.
Right. Which you could have fooled me because we couldn't get her out of the
couldn't.
water.
Once I-
Oh.
For
well, it was
someone who
James.
was afraid of the water,
It's
you
true.
couldn't get her out of the water.
Well, it was so thank you because it was really funny because I had a fear of snorkeling. I have a fear of, well, to be honest, sharks. I'll just flat out say it,
Right.
everybody. Sharks. So James said to me, we were in Moorea with James.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
towards the end of the trip, I think it was. And it was so fun. James said, well, come on, let's go snorkeling. I said, oh, no, James, I don't snorkel. It's enough. Hey, I'm standing 3 feet in the water. That's great. He said, come on, honey, I'll show you how. Because he helped his sister, who was on the trip with us. She's lovely.
she's so
Maura.
lovely.
Shout
Yeah.
out
Hi,
to
Maura.
And Jay, her husband. They were terrific.
Yeah.
And he helped her get over her fear. And he had a fear at one time. So he took my hand. He said, come on. Do you know? I guess it was because it was James. I trust him so much.
Yeah.
And I said, okay. And off I went. And he never saw me again. It was like off I went. He was stunned, actually.
In 2 minutes, she was snorkeling around.
I really was. There was
Very
something about him,
cool.
the way he, I don't know, is, with
Yeah.
me and how he is just in general, that
Yeah.
no fear thing. Come on, let's go. And off I did. So it was a lot of fun. And on those moments, I would never have used my phone. But the tricky thing, I just thought of this, is nowadays our phone is our camera. 15 years ago, we had
Yeah.
separate cameras.
Yeah.
People were actually walking around with a water bag covering their cell phones so you could still use the cell phone, cover it so it wouldn't get,
Yeah.
ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now, see what I mean? So it's tough because you have the phone it's like an appendage.
Well, that's so interesting because I didn't even think to take my camera because then I thought then I have to get those pictures and
Yeah.
put them in the computer
Right.
and I don't know how to do that. And so I said I'm just going to take pictures from my phone so it's automatic and I can
Yeah.
throw them up on Facebook or send them to my sister or my daughter or hey, look
Right.
what I'm doing. So yeah, no, it is. But that's why I think it's so important to be able to, we've had shows where we've talked about boundaries. It's so important to set boundaries on yourself. And if you're tempted to always be the person everyone comes to say, okay, on this vacation, I'm just going to take an hour a day because that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
And the rest of the time, I'm going to take it for myself, or half an hour in the morning, in the evening, whatever feels right, but really making a point to limiting it for yourself, setting boundaries on yourself, because then, you do run the risk of not feeling like you had a vacation
Right.
because you were
Right.
answering emails and being there for everybody and, whatever your work,
And then when you come home from
Maybe.
vacation, you've got 1,000 emails. So to balance it out is actually pretty good. I think.
Exactly.
I think
Exactly.
so. I
Yeah.
think that's for me the best way to do it. I didn't want to come home to surprises. I've
Right.
discovered at my age I don't like surprises. It's like, oh, you were going to kill yourself? Oh, wow.
Right.
So for me, I really felt that kind of responsibility to constantly check in. Plus, I have my mother has been very sick, and I have a dog that's very sick. So, and I miss my husband. So I really needed to check in.
Right.
Right,
for me.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
be
so
comfortable.
it's figuring out what works for you
Yeah.
and not having this idea that it has to be all or nothing because that in and of itself can feel more stressful and it's not really realistic, particularly now because everything is at our fingertips.
Right.
You know?
right. You did a good balanced job with that, I thought.
Yeah, I've learned how. It took me a while. I had to be very purposeful at the beginning. I was, almost like still connected mentally and, with email and stuff with everybody, even when I was on vacation. And I realized that didn't really make me feel like I had taken the space and the time off. So I put someone in my place, which we do.
Yeah.
And I just did what I felt okay about, and I took a lot of time off, and that felt really good. I came back, and boy, I was so rested, and just so, and I'm still carrying it
Yeah.
with me. What has it been? A week that we've been back, and I just still feel
Yeah.
rested and grounded, and yeah.
Well,
It's
that's
such a
good,
great
Cheryl.
trip.
And you guys have been back to work already, or
Yeah.
have you? Okay.
Oh, I
Okay.
hit the ground running.
Okay.
See, notice I didn't say, "Oh, me too."
Right. Well, you've got some other stuff going on in your life
I
too.
was busy.
But no, and what happened was we get this random text. Kelly gets this random
Oh.
text from Air France that says,
Unbelievable.
we've canceled your flight and
No, this
you're
is
going
what
to
it
get
said.
on the flight
It said,
tomorrow.
your flight is canceled, and then it said this: "Our apologies." That was it.
right.
Oh.
Your flight's canceled, and I said, and we were just checked into our final room, and we were thinking we were going to leave the next morning at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning. Right, we were going to get our flight. They only have one flight in and out every day. That's it on Air France and on the Air Tahiti Nui too. Same thing.
Yeah.
And everything else was full. So I didn't know what I was going to do because I really did need to get back, and you needed to get back.
Well,
we were
I need
both
to. Well,
kind of
and the
panicked at
funny
that
thing
moment.
was, again, about intuition. I usually, because we were going to get home Sunday morning, I thought I have all Sunday to kind of get prepared and start work Monday. And something told me, you know what, just take Monday off and then go to work on Tuesday. You'll have plenty of time to do everything. And I usually never do that. And something told me to do that, so I went ahead and did that. And sure enough, we were stranded in Tahiti for an extra day.
Stranded.
But a kind of a funny thing happened with that. So Shirley and I both love Manoi oil. Have you ever heard of Manoi oil?
Oh, it's the
It's
best.
a coconut oil with a tierra flower, and
The smell is just
it's
divine.
just
Yeah.
incredible.
Just
And
put it all over.
I
yeah.
brought a separate suitcase just for my Manoi oil to bring it back. Honestly, because we were going to the Tahitian marketplace to buy a
Right.
lot of it, and of which we did.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing is, we get to the airport finally a day and a half later. We get to the airport, and Shirley and I both calculated at the extra suitcase and the extra weight in our suitcase of what we had to pay. This Tahitian oil that was going to be like $4 a bottle has now quickly gone to $12 a bottle.
Right.
Which at that point we can order from Amazon
For shipping and
You know,
handling.
exactly.
for
And-
$6.
Yeah.
Right. It was just really hysterical. So, but the funniest thing happened when we got to pay for the extra suitcase. I mean, Shirley and I are both ready to pay for this, extra. In my case, it was extra $200. They said, "Oh, because you were canceled, Air France is giving you this as a kind of a
that's
bonus
great.
or whatever." So
Yeah.
So
we
little
got our
messages
Manoi oil.
here and there to
Yeah.
say, relax,
yeah.
this is good.
Relax, it's all
and
good.
of course that extra day in Tahiti. was
And
wonderful.
Air France picked that up.
Yeah.
So
Great.
that was nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was, it really put into perspective as if we didn't know that before. But for my left brain, it's so interesting to really see it, see it happening in the moment. The healing that happens both from a spiritual standpoint and, in a psychological standpoint. And I think that was part of, at least for me, it was the trip was about, and I didn't, I thought, what crazy things am I going to see or whatever? And I think they know that I'm okay with not seeing anything. 'Cause at one point we were sitting at the cocktail party with these women, and unfortunately they had both, lost kids, young kids. And she literally saw one of them playing basketball.
Wow.
And one of the children of these women was a basketball player. And I don't want to see that. And it didn't happen.
See, and
So-
I just don't want to see sharks. Dead
And that,
people.
and
all
that
day
didn't happen
long.
either. So we were both
No,
okay.
that's not true. When you were in the water with Carol, I told you there were two little black-tipped sharks. Now, granted, they were little, like 2 feet each. That's enough.
Yeah.
Wait, was it at the lagoon? Because they weren't. We
Yes.
saw them.
They weren't
They were,
black-tipped?
no, they were fish. Yeah.
They were sharks, I'm telling you. Okay. In my mind, they're sharks.
Well, if Shirley says she doesn't want to see, so that's clairvoyance, right?
Yes.
So there's other senses that she could develop and still be in touch that
So
way, right?
The clairaudient would be when you said, you heard, just take the day off. So that's clairaudient. So you could be in touch with that. Absolutely. And some people really do hear
Yeah.
the other side's voice. All of a sudden you might be asleep and you might hear, Kelly. Well, I hear that a lot.
Yeah.
But or you might hear, your name, or you might hear something.
Yeah.
Well,
And that happens. That's
I don't-
clairaudient.
Yeah, I don't hear it. What happens to me is I've always just thought this was just my intuition, where I have a feeling, and that feeling gets put into words
Yeah.
in my mind, and so then it.
So clairsentient.
I almost like I
clairsentient.
see the words in my mind.
Yeah.
I don't hear anything literally, and I don't see anything.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Spirit has figured out a way to incorporate your left brain.
Right.
That's so funny. The
Because
greatest
Mama doesn't
story.
want to see. Okay.
Well, I was listening when
unless I'm with one of you guys, I know that But I think it would scare me if I literally saw.
Well, people say that all the time to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't scare me. It just doesn't even cross my mind to scare me.
Well, I think it would be hard if it scared you because.
Yeah, I think the
You'd
only
have a
time
hard
it
time
ever
being a
did was
medium.
the first time
The
I
first
was in
time.
Tahiti when I
Yeah.
saw my spirit guys. That
Yeah.
scared the shit out of me. But it doesn't scare me now. It's like, pfft. In fact, I bring it on. I need to see them.
Right. I would
know.
too. I mean, if I were a medium, I would too. And that doesn't mean
Yeah.
I'm always going to be. Just right now, I'm just okay with not
Well,
seeing.
it was really fun. The other day, I was listening to David G.
Yes.
Were you part of the show?
Yes,
that
I
was
was,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
On James's
Uh-huh.
show
Yeah.
with James. Do you know who he is?
No.
We were talking about it
Oh,
on the
the
way in.
meditation.
Yeah,
He's
meditation
a
guru.
great meditation guru. Well, he said the funniest thing. I've been laughing about this all week, Shirley. He said, the brain. Isn't it a cute little 8-pound thing?
Yeah, you would love that. You got to go back and watch
Oh,
that show.
that's
It's really funny.
hilarious.
That said
Yeah.
everything because yes, we need a left brain because
Yeah.
well, you don't want to be late and I don't know, there's a lot of reasons I suppose.
Yeah.
Do your checks and things like that.
Right.
But really, for me, I am all right brained. I mean, it's so I just do
Well, that was
everything
funny because-
intuitively.
Because we kind of made a good combination on
Oh,
the
yeah.
trip because she was like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And I go, push
Oh,
right there.
Yeah,
You know,
she's really good at that. Shirley's amazing with that, and you never get upset about it.
How do I
You're so
put-
good.
No, because it comes so easy to me.
Yeah.
How do I put this tag on there? And I'm like, well, just like this. But and I
Yeah.
don't understand how she doesn't just kind of to
Know how to
me.
do it.
I see it and it
Yeah.
and it goes brrr, and it goes in my head. And you just do. I see it.
Yeah.
You know. And with her, I'm like, how does she not see it? I don't
miss
understand
it.
that.
I missed the boat.
Well,
actually.
Kelly's in a
It's so
different dimension a lot of the times,
funny.
right?
I am.
So, I
I
mean,
am.
just being a medium, that would make sense that she's kind of. I mean, I get it. It's like we get. What's the word that we get a lot? When we get we're not airy fairy, but there's another word. And it's when you're sort of grounded, but you're not grounded. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I try to be as grounded as I possibly
Yeah, I think
can.
you are.
Yeah, I think
for,
I
for,
am.
for most mediums that I know, I
Yeah.
think you're very grounded.
Yeah,
But-
no, it's not that you're not grounded at
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
But it's this other way of kind of viewing the world.
Oh, yeah.
And so we were we were great, you know. I would
Yeah.
do the technical things. She would figure out everything that had to do with, no, we should go here. Okay, let's go there. And I trust her implicitly. So you want to go there? Let's go there.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So did you say, John, we have a
I think we
caller?
have a call from 213. Do you want to go ahead and take it?
Sure.
Let's take it.
All right,
Yeah,
so
we
let's
invite
put
all
213
callers.
on the air. Hi, you're on the air with Shirley and Kelly.
I can't hear you.
Oh, can you turn it up just a little bit?
Yeah. Oh, are you there? 213.
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, great.
Hi.
Can we have
Hi
your
there.
name and where you're calling from?
Yeah, hi. I'm getting like a weird feedback there.
Oh, just listen through your phone, not through the computer.
Oh, okay. Well, that would do it.
Yeah. And then you could just mute the
Hi.
computer in the background, and then we won't get any feedback.
Yeah, because I think it's like there's a delay or something.
Okay.
Hi, ladies. How are you?
Hi there.
Hi.
What's your name, caller?
My name is Manuel.
Manuel.
Oh, I love that name. Manuel, what's your
thank you.
birthday?
My birthday is 3/23/63.
So how old are you exactly?
I am 53 years old.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
Oh boy, you're smart. You know a lot.
Yeah, I got a lot of 3 going on this year.
Yeah, you sure do. Yeah, you're a very smart guy, actually. You have a lot in your head. Do you have trouble sleeping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet. Did you have trouble with your mother growing up?
Yeah. Didn't everybody?
Well, that's very true.
That's true, but in your case, there would have been a little more, I think. Are
Yeah. You know, God bless her. On my untreated Al-Anon mother, yes.
Yeah.
a lot of-
Has she already passed?
She hasn't. No, she's still with. My father has passed. But no,
Okay,
she's
so
still
it's
here.
your father then. I think it looks like your father took care of your mother. Is that accurate?
No, it's not. No, they divorced when I was very young, and he was sadly in the throes of addiction for a good deal of his adult life. So no, if anything, no, they had a very contentious relationship.
It looks like he's trying to help her now, though. It does look like he's trying to, make sure she gets the support she needs, and supportive of you, trying to support you as you go through your what you're going through currently. Is there a situation with money right now?
You know what? Yeah, there is actually. Yeah, I've been wanting to get into a different line of work, or actually expanding, and there's some schooling that has to go on, and I'm really very concerned about paying for that.
About paying for that?
Yeah.
There's all kinds of student loans you can get now. But I just want to say this, that if you have such a great mind that you really need to be active with your mind. I mean, you have a really strong left brain. Your right brain too, but you have a really strong left brain. Are you an artist also? Because it's like you have a real strong right and a real strong left.
Yes, I am.
You are an artist.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, because
I'm a
I
makeup
could
artist
sense
and
that. Yeah.
I'm a makeup artist and a hairdresser, and I was going to say that this is I've called into a show with some really great hair. Both of you ladies have beautiful
Thank
hair.
you.
Thank you.
So I was like, wow,
It's funny because
this
we
is
had
the
a
show is
hairdresser
great
on.
hair.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
Thanks.
I had somebody actually stare at my head yesterday at Trader Joe's, and I thought that there was a bee over my head, you know? So this lady was staring at me, and I go, whoa, what? I'm about ready to have a panic attack. And she said, oh, I just never saw hair like that.
That's so
Like,
funny.
Wow.
Very
well,
funny.
it's really quite beautiful. Both of you.
Oh, thank
Really
you.
quite lovely.
Thank you.
Well, you know, you have a lot of changes coming up. I know August is rough, and August is rough for everybody. August is a very high anxiety producing time, okay? It just is. But in September, first of all, you're 53, so you're going to be going through some more changes. 53, 54, 55 are the next set of changes. The first one starts at 43, 44, 45. This is a set that actually takes you into the second half of your life, though. If you wanted to go back to school, the funds you can find them. You're somebody that has to keep your brain active and at the same time be creative. It must be very hard to stand still even, because they're showing me that you point out everything. I mean, you don't miss anything. I guess that would be the better, accurate, more statement there. How can I help you exactly? How can Shirley and I help you? Are you looking for anything particular?
I've actually, I've been to, a few psychics in my life and some amazing people, but I've never actually spoken to a medium before. So, is there any?
Yes, I'm getting
something coming from the other side?
Well, what I am getting is that you have there's two people coming. You have your father's mother is coming, and she's got like a double heart around her. I don't know if you knew her, but I can tell you that there's a lot of love there for you, and I think you get a lot of your creativity from her. There's a lot of heart energy around her. Did she have a heart attack? There's a lot of heart energy.
I did not know her.
Okay.
My mother's mother I was close to.
Okay, but there's a father's side. I think you're still dealing with your father's side. There's something about your father's side though that is keeping. Maybe you're still trying to work through it. I'm not really sure. And also, I'm getting that there's some jealous issues. Do you know what that's about?
I don't, to be honest with you.
All right, because
but I have a lot of brothers and sisters, so who knows?
Okay, because I'm just hearing the word jealous, and I'm also getting another male on the other side that looks like your friend that passed, and I'm getting a letter P. On that side, on the other side that's passed, and it looks like a friend of yours. And I don't know if there was alcohol and drugs in that case too, or something like that.
Well, maybe. Not anybody that comes to mind.
Okay.
I have a good friend, female friend, whose name is Dindy, but Melinda. But no P's that I know of.
Okay. But this is a male. I'm getting a male that passed. And it looks like was a friend of yours. And I don't know, did you go to art school or something like that? Did you go to some sort of school for what you've done?
I did, yeah.
Okay, it looks like somebody.
Many years ago.
Okay, but it looks like somebody during that period of time that came through.
Oh, that's interesting.
And I'm not sure who it is, but it just looks like a man that was a good friend that had passed. And sometimes they come by just to say hello. That what happens on the other side is they love to come by. They think about you, and if you've been thinking about them, they're always there. But there's something about you. You do have help coming from the other side. Before you incarnated, you came in. You chose this family. You chose all of the experiences that you're having, and you have some big changes coming up. And I'm going to say they're coming up. Probably starting in September, towards the end of September for you.
Changes in career or
it would
personal,
be. It looks like career.
It
looks like career. Things that bring in change for your career. I'm not sure if you're adding to your career or as you said, go back to school. There's something about change in your career.
Well, I'm a freelance artist, so yeah, and anything adding is always a good.
Okay, we've got some adding things coming in. Okay.
I got a question. I over the many years, I started reading angel cards, and I did it mostly just for me, Jordan Virtue's deck and a few others. And now I've had a few friends who have asked, and I've done a little reading. I don't kind of feel any sort of like I'm hearing voices or psychic things, that sort of stuff. But when I do read, I just get like intuition-y kind of things that feel like, the right thing to say. Am I like on the right track, or am I just?
Oh yeah,
kind of
absolutely. You
messing
come in
around?
as very intuitive. You got to just have to get out of what Shirley and I were just talking about, out of your left brain, because you have a great right brain. Use it. Yeah, and you don't have to physically hear it, in your head, or you just start to feel it, right, John? I mean, you just feel it.
Oh, definitely.
So
definitely.
you can do
Sometimes
it.
you just know too.
Yeah,
right?
sometimes you just know, and you're very gifted in your left brain, and you're very gifted in your right brain. You're lucky.
Yeah, I haven't really I get a lot of that, how intelligent I am, and I'm kind of moving toward working back with coaching, like life coaching, that
Oh,
sort
great.
of that sort of thing. I've done,
Great. It would be
I've done a lot of work
perfect.
with quite a few people, the Tony Robbins and people like that over the years.
Fabulous.
It did a lot of educating. So yeah, I'm still kind of going back and forth. Like, I don't have a degree, and this is something I really should be doing.
Oh, well,
and,
hunker down and
at this
do it.
point in my life,
Hunker down. If you're going to do life coaching or anything like that, hunker down. It's really great to get as much school as you can. Wouldn't you agree, Shirley?
Yeah,
I mean,
to kind
it's
of
real legitimize yourself. Do it. Just
Right.
do it.
And work on the intuitive too, because an intuitive
Yeah.
life coach is the best.
Oh, so
Well,
true.
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
using both. It's
Yeah.
nice that, it sounds like you have a really nice balance between your left and your right. And in coaching, using both is so important. I mean, you can tell a coach when they're too left brain and too pragmatic, or when they're too right brain and too, but it sounds like from what you've been saying is that you have a nice balance of both. And that works really well with coaching.
Yeah.
yeah, well, I mean, the 30 plus years as a hairdresser is number one. And
That'll
then
do it.
Also, yeah, and then also all the training I've done with so many amazing mentors and coaches. But what Shirley, Dr. Shirley, to what you said, is it's, kind of, I feel like I need to have some kind of something at the end of my name, it's like some letters or something in order to, to become, to be legitimate. And
It would
that's
be
really what I'm
great.
kind of struggling.
And I think what also that helps, I mean, there seems to be a belief in yourself as well. And if, having those letters at the end of your name, which includes then having that information in your mind, also of what you've learned, allows you to feel more confident in it, then that's exactly what to do. I mean, I took course after workshop after conference, to feel confident in my skills. And I continue to always, evolve and learn, because I always want to, exercise that and feel confident. If I feel confident, I know that I'm going to do the best work possible.
Right.
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 Well, thank you for that. Lastly, to our medium friend,
Kelly.
I can't help but go there. Like, what do you think in the way of like relationship, love life? Anything coming through? Is he coming through or what?
It looks like you're just a little blocked right now on that. Just a little. I think you think with your head a lot in love relationships. So with you, you'd have to, it's funny. I get an all or nothing with you. It's like you either give your heart fully or you just don't. But I think, yes, things will open up for you. Things will open up for you. Spend a lot of time, if you can, really thinking about love and then feeling what love is. Like, go into the feeling of love, and people will start to show up in your life with that, okay? Yeah,
That's
that'll
lovely.
change
Thank
too
you
for
so
you.
much.
That moves along too.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And, I really
Anytime.
enjoyed watching the show. I'm a friend of Tony's, and so this is actually the first time I've caught your show. And,
Oh,
yeah,
thanks. Thanks for calling.
Wonderful. Yeah. Well, thank
Yeah.
you for calling, and give us a call again and let us know how you're doing.
All right, super. Well, thanks so much, and have a great rest of your day.
All
Bye-bye.
right. You too. Bye-bye. So it's hard when you're kind of in the midst of some kind of movement, maybe not exactly sure what that movement's going to be.
Well, it is. And I can tell you, I think everybody kind of is right now. This August, as we've discussed in the past, is still pretty rough.
So tell us a little bit about what's coming up in August, or what to
I
expect
think
in
that it's
August.
going to be the same as similar to July, where you've got a lot of planets still in retrograde. You've got some intense energies. Things are not settled yet. So people are going to be feeling unsettled. They're going to feel anxious. They might feel agitated. I had 3 people honk at me yesterday, and I'm like, but I just came back from Tahiti, I'm going slow, don't you know?
Yeah.
And it's just it's the energy out there. So that, as a spiritualist, I can tell you that.
And tomorrow's a very special day because that's the day of the Lionsgate portal.
Well, tell us
What
about
does that
that.
mean?
What is the Lionsgate portal?
Lionsgate portal opens every year on August 8th to the 12th when the sun is in Leo, and it's marked by the star Sirius moving closer to Earth. So it's sort of an astrological kind of thing.
Okay.
It happens every year, but it's very special because of the energy that's been being brought in. With what we're dealing with right now, with all the changes, the rapid changes that are having. So I think what's really happening is that there's a lot of endings taking place, and then we're moving more into what it is that your soul desires. And so those endings are taking place because your soul is manifesting what it really desires. And so there's rapid change, there's rapid movement. So like moving career, there's moving from one place to another. There's moving cross country. I mean, there's a lot of major things that are happening right
So true.
now.
A lot of babies coming
Yeah.
in, a lot of people exiting.
Up until, I think it says, I'm looking up something right now. It says up until September, we're going to feel it really, really, really strong.
Really strong. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been saying till the end of September.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Very interesting, isn't it?
Oh, until the end of September?
Yeah. Yeah. So just hold on. Just go with the flow with all this, and it's what you were saying. It's really about the spiritual more than what your soul's wanting.
Yeah,
the spiritual as opposed to the material.
Material, right? It's whatever's not in alignment with what your soul wants.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Our caller, he's searching,
Exactly.
right? He's looking for something that's going to be more in alignment with what his soul wants, and he's been working with the crown chakra all that time with doing hair.
I was thinking that
You
too.
know, so that's going to
Yes.
make him very intuitive just by,
have to.
and that's
Oh.
why people divulge their secrets to their hairstylist.
Oh my God,
all the
it's so
time.
true. I always worry
is
for
so
hairstylists,
funny.
always,
Yeah.
because they're working with that chakra
Yeah.
energy right there,
Yeah.
And if anybody, God forbid, if there's a mistake in the way they cut their hair, there's going to be a problem. I mean,
That's
I can tell
true.
you for me, for sure.
Which is their spiritual antenna, right?
Oh, yeah.
For
Well,
you,
that's why I
right?
don't-
That's
I
why you don't cut
never
it.
cut my
yeah.
hair. Yeah,
I get
have
it.
a problem.
That is so funny. I
Yeah.
didn't even know any of that. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is. I mean, there is something about the bartender becoming your therapist. You
Right.
knew because you're having a
'Cause
couple
your
of drinks and
drinks
all of a sudden you're
open
just
you
spilling
up.
your guts.
Yeah.
But I knew the hairdresser. A lot of hairdressers get
Yeah.
told a lot of stuff, personal stuff, and I didn't realize
Their
it was
therapy
because-
sessions.
Their
Therapy.
That's right.
Exactly.
Like our friend Patrick.
But
Yeah.
there's so many people actually this last week in
Yeah.
session that were torn between really having this intuitive feeling of wanting to do something,
Yep.
and then of course the left brain will come in and say, yeah, but you shouldn't, or maybe it's too
practical.
much of a risk.
Yeah.
So when you hear that, just remember what David G said. Isn't it cute, that little 8-pound brain? Isn't it
Right.
cute? The
That's
way
so
he
funny.
did it was so perfect because it really does make it. It's like you have to have it, but it's
Yeah.
this big. Really, it
Right.
shouldn't control everything.
Right. Well, and it really does. It
Yeah.
really does. And
can.
I've learned, to feel, to know the difference. Sometimes it's hard to know the difference between what's intuitive and what's either wishful thinking
Right.
or, the thinking part of what to do. But I've noticed the times where I've just let it go and just done it. Like, for example, something that's not that big of a deal, but, something tell me just take Monday off, because I would have been, even though we would have had an extra day in Tahiti, which, on the surface sounds wonderful.
Right.
If I had to work on Monday, I would have been really stressed out. In this case, I was able to just enjoy the extra day,
Right.
and being stranded in Tahiti, which was wonderful. So I've had to learn to really see the difference and then just go with intuition. And that's what I've been, working with some people in my practice about, because the brain does stop you.
Yeah.
I mean, it tunes
does.
that voice,
Just remember that little 8-pound thing.
that little 8-pound thing. I'm going to remember that.
So there's going to be what's called downloads, and that's that's the energy coming in. So just be open to it's probably going to come in your dreams. It's probably going to come in with your ears ringing.
I've had a lot of that lately.
Yeah. So that's a big sign, depending on the right or the left side, where you hear the ear
I always
ringing.
get it on the right.
Yeah, so that's a download, sort of like it's an upgrade to your spiritual systems.
Oh, I love that. Is that what this
Yeah,
Lionsgate
and that's what
is
this
bringing?
Lionsgate
Oh,
is
I
doing. It's a
love
powerful
it.
activation that's taking place. Yeah.
Oh, great. I'm a
So
Leo rising, so that's perfect.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lionsgate.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, Leo.
That's
Yeah.
great.
So is it you're going from a 2.0 to a 3.0?
Exactly.
something like
So
that?
you're having a
I-
spiritual
yes,
upgrade. You're literally
right.
upgrading your operating system.
Exactly.
Seriously, that's what's happening. And that's why
Wow.
people are being more in tune to what their heart's leading them to do and their spirit's leading them to do.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
it.
I've been
Yeah.
hearing a lot about the Lionsgate, but I never really researched it and to understand because we have all these astrological things happening all the time. But I
So
always look
many.
at them in retrospect to see
Right.
what happened versus okay, this is going to happen. I always look back
Right.
to see what did happen, what was I feeling during
Right.
that time, sort of to validate if it really did have an effect on me or not. Because there's so much with astrology.
much,
There's so
right,
much with
yeah.
numerology. There's so
And
much.
there's so much going on right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Just a lot.
Yeah.
So I wanted to announce because we're going to be moving days.
We are moving days.
Oh, see,
Cheryl.
there we go. Another change.
Another change.
Yeah, another change.
Yeah.
We're going to be moving to Mondays on Channel 2 at 8:30. And when are we starting that? Do we know?
I don't know. I have to check with
Not
Tony.
this
and
Monday,
find
but a
out.
week
Well,
from
not
Monday?
tomorrow.
Not tomorrow.
Right,
Oh,
not
yes,
tomorrow.
Yeah.
But yes, a week from tomorrow.
And
we're
hopefully
gonna be
following
on-
James Van Prague's Spirit Speaks show, right?
Well-
if it happens, he moves to Monday.
If he moves,
Right?
if he
it would
moves
be-
to Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
But we are definitely moving to Monday. So we will
Great.
announce it and on our Facebook. What's our Facebook link?
Our Facebook link is at Both Sides Now TV. That's
Yeah.
that's the Twitter as well.
Yeah, so go there for all the latest information. We also have we were doing some words of wisdom from James all throughout Tahiti.
Oh,
I was trying to,
yeah.
even though the internet was so spotty, I was trying to post as many. But I do have more left over that I took notes on.
Oh, do you
so
have
I
them?
will be, I will be posting throughout the
Oh,
week.
great.
So go to our Facebook page, like our page, and you'll get the announcements when we post different things.
And we can
announcing for the show.
Do you
Share
have
some-
one to share right now?
Do I have
Or
one?
some
Well, let
excerpts
me
from
look.
your
Yeah, because there was
workshop
he,
that you did
James
right
always
before.
has gems, and Shirley,
Oh,
with
yeah.
her great left brain, writes them down.
I do. And I actually like
We
to
should
write
leave
them down
everybody with this.
manually.
Uh-huh.
But in this case, I actually typed them into my phone under memos. I
great. Good
discovered
for you.
memos the other day. It was wonderful. Let's see. So I put a few. I mean, one of my favorites that he said is, which is I think is the first one that I posted. How people treat you is their karma. How you respond is your karma, which I love. You know, there's something about people saying, well, if they're going to treat me that way, then I'm going to
Yep.
treat them that way. And
Give 'em a
it's-
taste
is
of their
that-
own.
Right.
Yeah.
But is that truly how you want to live in the world? You know, I have this that I got from your mom, actually, this sign over the door of my office that says character. It's how we act, is how you act when no one's looking.
Oh, I love
So
that.
it's who you want to be in the world. That doesn't mean you don't set boundaries with someone who's been disrespectful or not, but you don't have to treat them the same way. So I love that one. But let me see. Let's see. Here's one. When you can let go of attachments, you can find your true self. So that's
Oh, I
another
love that
wonderful,
one.
wonderful
that's
thing that he said.
great.
Yeah, yeah. So I'll post it today just so you can have it in writing, and I will continue because I have a whole list of pearls of wisdom that I didn't get a chance to post.
cool.
Yeah. So we will thank you for listening, and we
Thank
will see
you.
everybody a week from tomorrow, Monday at 8:30 on Channel 2. But we will also post that
8:30
to remind
Pacific Standard Time.
you. 8:30 p.m. Pacific
PM.
Standard Time. Yes. Yes.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Wonderful afternoon.
Great to have you back.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Both Sides Now, featuring the unconventional duo Dr. Shirley and Kelly White.
Two perspectives, one world.